Hey there, it's Donna Doyon. Welcome to the after the show notes that I created for episode 61 of Reflections of a Recovering Ugly Duckling. At approximately the 3 minutes and 50-second mark, I mentioned a new job that I started. It's a part time position as a bakery associate in a local grocery store. And I mentioned that it was kind of a weird set of circumstances that brought me to this job. So it was a Saturday evening. I was looking half heartedly at job postings online. And I read the description for this bakery associate, and I thought that would be kind of cool, kind of fun. They were only looking for someone part time, which is what I wanted. So I started to fill out the online application. I had entered my name, my phone number, my email address. The next screen, they wanted references. Well, my phone, which had that information, was way on the other side of the room. Didn't feel like getting up to get it, so I didn't. Moved through another screen or two in the application process, and then it was looking for a resume. Well, I had not sanitized my resume yet. It still had all of my professional training, my supervisory experience. And I knew that if I uploaded that version, they would never call me because they'd say, oh, overqualified, she'll never be happy here. And so I skipped to the next screen. And basically, I saved and exited this application process having given them my name, my phone number, and my email address. And I kind of forgot about it. Well, on Monday morning, the HR manager for this store called me to schedule an interview. When I heard her message, all I could do was laugh because at my previous position, we had a hard time finding people to fill our job openings. And our manager would bring in the names and the phone numbers, the email addresses of people that people had provided as their online job application. And we would just laugh and laugh because who does that? Who provides only their name and phone number and email address as a job application? Well, that's what I did. So it was pretty funny. So every time I tried to call this woman back on Monday, I just would start laughing. Finally, on Tuesday morning, I called her back. Excuse me. We scheduled an interview for Friday. I walked in. We had a lovely conversation. I met the bakery manager. We had a wonderful conversation. And I walked out of the store that day with a job offer. So that was pretty cool. But it was just so funny to me and so ironic that all I had entered was my name, email address, and phone number, and I got a job out of it. And so that was rather fortuitous that they did that. I'm sure the HR manager thought I was a 17-year-old girl or something, not knowing how to fill out a job application. But the key for me was Saturday evening I had filled out the application. Sunday I went to an intuitive writing workshop where this is very woo-woo stuff, so stick with me. This is all brand new for me, but I'm loving it. A new way to explore the world. And I had asked the question to my guides, and I don't know if you believe in this. I'm still at that questioning period myself, to be honest. But I had asked my guides, should I take this? Do I need to worry about finding a job? And the answer was a resounding no as I was writing in this exercise and getting this feedback from above. I was writing out, do I need this job? And there were so many reasons why no, believe in yourself. So then when I got the call about this, I'm thinking, well, that's weird because if my guides are saying don't worry about a job and then this happens. So I was a little unsettled, but it still felt good to me. It felt right. And then I was talking with another woman and she said, maybe your guides told you not to worry about this because they had already lined up this job for you. It's like, woo, woo. It was pretty exciting, but pretty cool. So that was the story about how I got my job. The other thing I mentioned was at about 12 minutes and 50 seconds, I was talking about challenging conversations. And I said, quote, sometimes, this is kind of the background. So sometimes we're in a conversation and we're just feeling that we're butting heads and, nothing is being accomplished. And so I had said, so you may approach this and go back to the person that you're having a challenging conversation with and say, I'm not feeling this conversation is going where it's productive. Let's revisit the topic at a later date. And I do want to clarify that by that statement, I don't mean the conversation is not going the way that you want it to go, but that you're sinking into that point where you're making personal accusations, throwing names around or bringing up old incidents that have nothing to do with the current situation. You're not always going to get your way in every relationship. If you are not in healthy relationships. Okay? Hate to break that news to you, but if you're always winning, in the long run, you're losing. Relationships are always give and take. It's understanding and accepting people for who they are. They have different values, different wants, different needs, different dreams than you have or that you have for them. But there are times when we're having conversations where the walls are just they're so solid, they're so in place, and there's no moving them. And if you try to, you're just going to do further damage. And that's the time when take a deep breath. As I say in the podcast episode, that's when you pause and you think about, where do I want this relationship to go? What do I want as the end results? And if you want a strong, healthy, happy relationship, sometimes the best thing you can do is just, okay, let's agree to disagree at this point. And then you can both honor each other and your own perspectives without continuing that combativeness. So hopefully that clarifies that point just a little bit. And then the other thing I wanted to mention was at about 20 minutes and 56 seconds, I was sharing how we can use the pause button on our movie players, TVs, so that when someone comes and wants to have a conversation with us, we don't have to miss out on a show we were watching that we thought was important at the time, but we can pause it. We can rewind it and we can pick up where we left off, while honoring and respecting that the conversation with someone else is more important. One thing to also do to help with that is, when you need to talk with someone who is watching a TV show, watching a movie, playing a game, ask them if they can pause. And then allow them the time to do that. Sometimes you can't just pause automatically. The little PS3 controllers that I have for my DVD player and my DVR, that I can watch Netflix with, that powers off after a few minutes. So if someone comes and wants to talk to me and I'm watching something, in order for me to pause it, I have to power that on first and then hit the pause button. So it could be 5 or 6 seconds. Doesn't seem like a long time, but if you've started to talk to me and I'm trying to play with this techno gadget, I may miss what you're starting to say. So be mindful of that, be respectful. Or if someone comes and talks to you, say, give me just a few seconds, let me pause this. Especially if you're the type that cannot let something play in the background, your ear is listening for that. Just ask for those few seconds. Give me a few seconds. Let me pause this so that I can give my full attention to you. People will really respect that. They will love that you're doing that for them. They will love knowing that listening to what they have to say is more important than whatever you are watching on the TV set or on your computer screen. So those were a few extra thoughts I had as I was listening to my playback as I was editing this week's episode of Reflections. And I hope it adds a little bit of value to you. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next After the Show video.